Alrighty, so here we are on lesson 3, perimeter and area of composite shapes. So a composite shape is pretty much just something that you can break apart. So if you want to write yourself a little note, or maybe we can say a shape you can break apart. Alright, so if you look at the shapes on this page, they're kind of a little funky looking. You know, they're not just exactly one square or one rectangle. Alright, so we're going to be finding the area of irregular shapes. And it says to decompose the shape into smaller rectangles, determine the missing sides, and then use the area formula to find the area of each rectangle and add to determine the area of the original shape. Okay, so first we've got some missing measurements here that we need to find. So for part A here, we're looking at this side. We know the whole bottom down here is 12. If we look up top, we know this much up here would be 4, so that means this part has to be 8. Alright, if we look at part B, we have 5 on the right hand side, plus another 2 up here, so that means this has to equal 7, so this would be 5 plus 2, which is 7. Okay, so now we have to find the perimeter first, so we replaced our measurements, so we're going to add 7, I'm going to write it down here in red. It would be 7 plus 8 plus the 2, don't forget that, plus the 4 plus 5 plus 12, and that gets us 38 units. Alright, if you look at the next one here, it says to divide the shape into 2 rectangles and then find the area of each rectangle and add the areas together. So first I'm going to divide it into 2 here. So I'm going to look at this big one over here. I'm going to do it in blue. Or let's do the small one first actually. So we know I have my right side is 5 and this would be 5 over here. This would be 4. Okay, so that's our blue. I'll circle our blue numbers. If we wanted to do the other one in red, for our long side, we have to add the 5 and the 2 to give us 7. And then the top, we subtract the 12 minus 4, and that would give us 8. So I'm going to label the red one as number 1. So to find the area of number 1, we'd have area equals length times width. So we would have 7 times 8, which would give us 56. Alright, and then for number 2, I'm going to do it here in blue. We would have the area equals 5 times 4, which would give us 20. So we are adding up our 56 plus our 20, which would give us 76. So our answer here would be 76 units squared. Alright. Go ahead and flip the page. We're going to look at example 2 here. It says to determine the perimeter and the area. But first we have some missing sides here that we got to fill in so we don't forget about them. Okay, so here we have this long side on the right. If we look across, this is going to be 9. On the inside here, it's a little tricky. We've got 7 going all the way across. We already have 2 on each side, so that would be 4, which means this one has to be 3. Okay. So we're going to do the perimeter first. So our P, we add up all the sides. So I'm going to start on the left here. So we have 9 plus 2 plus, do not forget this inside, this side here would be 4 plus that 3 we found plus the other 4 plus 2 plus the 9 on the right plus the 7 on the bottom. And when you add all of those up, you get 40. And we're talking in meters here, so it'd be 40 meters for our perimeter. Alright, now our area, we're going to have to split them up into some individual shapes. So here, the tall skinny ones, I'm going to have this, it's going to be A. Over here I will have B, and then this big one down here would be C. So for A, we would have A equals our length times our width, which would be 2 times 4, which would give us 8. For B, we would have the same thing. We'd still do A equals 2 times 4, which would give us another 8. And then for the big one, C in the bottom, we would have, well, if we're looking all the way across, we know our area would be 7 times, but now we got to figure out what our small side is here. If we've already used 4 up here, this means down here all we would have left is 5, so it'd be 7 times 5, which would give us 35. So now if we add our 8, and our 35, we add those up, we get 51 meters, and it would be squared because it's area. Alright, we're going to do one more on our own, because these do take a little bit of time here. So we're finding the perimeter and the area. Always first label your unknown sides. So we have this long side over here on the left. We know on the right we have a short little 4 and another short 4, so this would be 8. And the other one we're missing is this inside here on the right. I'm drawing that red line. So we know it's 9 all the way across. We've already used 5, so this one has to be 4 then. Okay. Then for the perimeter, we can do that first. Let me scroll down a bit. So perimeter, we know we add up all the sides. So on the, starting from the left, 8 plus 5, don't forget the inside, plus 4, plus the other 4, plus the 4 on the right, plus the 9. And that gets you 34 feet. So you can go ahead and put that up top for perimeter, 34 feet. And then for the area, again, we're going to have to split it in 2. So we're going to have A for the big one, B for the little one. So for part A, we would have our area equals 8 for the long side times 5, so that would be 40. For shape B, we'd have area equals, we know we found that short side is 4, times the other side would be 4, so this would be 16. So now I add them up. I have 40 plus 16. This gives me 56, so when I put it up top, it would be 56 feet, and remember, always squared. Okay. For part B here, I want you to try this one on your own. Alright, to make sure you find the missing sides first, and I can show you how you can split up your shapes. There's actually a few ways you can do it. Alright, so maybe if you do like we did up top, the 2 smaller ones and then the big one. So you can have part A, B, and C here for your area. Then go ahead and find your perimeter, and then we will go over the answer in class tomorrow.